Chunky! He's dead.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Deep Dive Zone. This is a Sonic the Hedgehog replay podcast for fans of all shapes and sizes. And, Lauren, Bruce, today we have good news and we have bad news. We played Sonic 2, and we played Sonic 2.
Oh, yes, we did.
I think we're gonna start with, let's start with the good news. Let's start with Sonic 2. I really love this game. It's classic.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty good. Might be a weird opinion of mine, but I don't actually have as much fun as sort of Sonic 1, but that's just me.
Interesting.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you know what it is?
I don't know. Sonic 1 feels more like a neat little package, I guess. Sonic 2 seemed more extensive, and so I don't know.
It is interesting. It's a more sprawling game, despite the stages feeling a little bit shorter a lot of the time.
I think the stages tend to feel shorter because even compared to Sonic 1, you're running a lot faster and you're getting through them a lot faster.
Right,
Yeah.
right, that's true.
Yeah, and it contributes to that sort of sense of momentum and pleasure that, like, the game just has a different atmosphere about it. The graphics and the color design and the music all feel significantly different to Sonic 1.
Yeah. Sonic 2 is like, it's a lot more like bright and colorful, like almost in your face, whereas Sonic 1 is a lot, I don't think we really mentioned this, but Sonic 1's kind of more subdued with its color palette. It's not as bright and colorful.
Which is interesting, because it's, people at the time would have definitely known it for being bright and colorful. It's more like it's just more saturated now, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's a better way of putting it.
And I guess that's, the difference between Green Hill and our first stage, Emerald Hill. There's no real difference in those meanings, except that if you look at, the Wikipedia definition for green and the Wikipedia definition for emerald, one of them is more vibrant.
Right.
Emerald Hill, yeah, it's kind of just a repeat of Green Hill, except with a slightly different aesthetic to it, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Not that that's particularly a bad thing.
No, I mean, it's, every Mario game's got to have a 1-1.
Oh, yeah, and a lot of them all look, maybe not the same, but at least very similar.
Yeah, I do think that Sonic runs into a problem of reusing the Green Hill aesthetic later on, but that's certainly not started now.
Right.
Emerald Hill is, I guess the other thing that contributes to the stages feeling shorter is the fact that you just have 2 acts and the boss at the end of the second one rather than 3.
That certainly is true.
Yeah, I that didn't even dawn on me until you just mentioned it.
Yeah, and I think that could make it feel... I think what Lauren might be getting at with his comment about 2 being more extensive, but 1 feeling more like a complete package, is that you definitely get to know the stages a little more in Sonic 1, whereas in Sonic 2, it's like, what traits can I mention that, like, Mystic Cave has? And it's like, you get crushed sometimes, and it's like, that's all I really remember.
Well, you definitely get crushed sometimes.
Yeah. We're not there yet, but, I guess the other thing that contributes is we have the Spin Dash now, which Sonic 1, of course, does not have.
Right.
Which has this, it contributes to a very frantic nature.
Well, you know what? You say Sonic 1 doesn't have it, but I think all the fan-made, like, source parts of Sonic 1 do include it.
Oh yeah, there's hacks with it. There's the official remaster. There's even Sonic Genesis on the Game Boy Advance, which is a terrible
I didn't even know
version of that game.
One of us probably should have played Sonic Genesis for the last episode.
I mean, I don't think we needed to torture ourselves that much.
Oh, I don't mean the entire game. I just mean a little bit.
Yeah, well.
Anyway.
The Drill Buggy as the boss of Emerald Hill is kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the Wrecking Ball is an extremely hard boss, but the Drill Buggy is, you jump once and it's dead.
Pretty much. You can literally just bounce off it, like, 7 times. Or however many times.
Well, in my opinion, Sonic the Hedgehog bosses always are either really easy or, like, stupid hard for one reason, and that's pretty much it.
That's a pretty good way of putting it.
Yeah, I would say most Sonic bosses tend to have design issues. It's a hard thing to figure out. Because how do you have this game where you run fast all the time, allegedly, but then you have to completely stop to fight this thing?
For now, anyway.
Yeah, we'll get into running bosses, which have their own set of problems.
Ooh.
I do think that Emerald Hill is easier than Green Hill, and I think that contributes. Yeah. This game has a very different difficulty curve than the first game.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Chemical Plant, of course, is, our second level, and it's like it's a water level, but it doesn't feel nearly as bad as Labyrinth, except for the section near the end where, the water level is rising and you feel like you're going to die.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog 1 felt like it had a lot of parts where something would just, pinch you and you died. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 doesn't really have those, except right here, and it's bad.
Yeah, the moving blocks, it looks like Sonic should be able to fit between them, but he doesn't.
That screwed me up a couple times, I think.
Yeah, and we'll also get into the problem of crushers in Sonic, that try to crush you, and then when they pull back, if you walk between them, they'll still kill you because it still detects that you're between them.
Oh, that was so annoying.
I hate when you roll into a ball, fit between them, and then uncurl, and somehow that kills you because that makes no logical sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm crawling through air vents because I try to murder my coworkers, I just stand up and smack my head against the top on purpose and then crack my skull open.
I mean, who doesn't do that?
When I played this zone again, it made me realize maybe it wasn't that Marble Zone is really that bad. I mean, it is, but maybe it's just that I was pathetic as a kid, because when I played Sonic 2 when I was younger, I also quit a Chemical Plant because of those darn crushers.
That's fair, to be honest.
Well, and I should mention, this is the first Sonic game. This is the first real video game that I ever played. I don't know if you...
Oh, really?
No, let's get into story time here. Because the first time that I ever played a real video game, my parents had friends, and I guess still have friends, maybe, I don't know their lives, but they had people that they were in, it was it was not a parenting class, it was like a learning to give birth class and, deal with newborns, I think.
Alright.
Right before my sister was born, and so they have a lot of friends that they're still friends with, whom they met in that class, and when I was 3 or 4 years old, which, to be clear to the audience, that's in 2002 and 2003, not the 90s, some of their friends moved out of their house and into a new house, and we were helping them set up a new house. I have helped so many people move in my life, it is ridiculous. But they had... their previous tenants of this house had left their Sega Genesis behind, maybe as a gift. I heard somebody say it was a gift, and I heard somebody say it was an accident. And the 3 games that they had for it were NBA Jam, Echo the Dolphin, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And, Echo the Dolphin is kind of a nightmare to get into, and NBA Jam is sports, so of course I gravitated towards Sonic.
Of course.
But as a small, stupid child, I could almost never get past the drill tank, which is very funny, because I just said it was pathetic. But then, in the very rare occurrences that I would, because my parents would visit their friends, and I would just be sitting here in the basement doing nothing, because what else would I do?
Right.
But on the rare occurrence that I would get to Chemical Plant at all, the little yellow platforms that move back and forth above the water during that part where you got a platform, I would always die on those, because I could not make jumps. I just thought, I'm supposed to hold right. That's what you do in these games, right?
Yeah, that's all you do.
Or... left, I guess, depending on what section I'm thinking of. So Chemical Plant brought back some bad memories, but I kind of forgive it. The anxiety section still sucks, but yeah.
You know what though? I thought I didn't like Chemical Plant, but playing it this last time for this, I did not hate it. It's
among the less terrible water levels in the series.
Yeah, it's honestly among the less terrible water levels I've played, period.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, it's almost not a water level, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only a few parts where you actually even fall in the chemicals.
Yeah, and you are right that it's also technically not water. It is, I believe, a Megamac.
Now that begs the question, why can Sonic survive in chemicals?
We got some deep lore going on here.
What is Sonic made of?
I don't know.
It really
did we
depends
talk
on the
about the
chemical.
Sonic Bible last time?
I feel like we may need to dedicate most of an episode to the Sonic Bible, because that thing's kind of insane.
Well, I mean, it'll come up when we talk about Sonic the comic, but
That's true. I think, yeah, maybe leave it at that.
all right. The old Sonic storyline where he was mutated by chaos energy or whatever. I think it's so stupid, but
It's stupid in like a fun way.
oh, there's plenty of fun stupid things. I will say the boss of Chemical Plant annoys me because it's got those moving or those like disappearing platforms.
Oh yeah, I had a bit of a hard time with that.
That boss was terrible until I realized the platforms that fall away are only on the left and right, and so I just hugged the center and it was fine.
They are only on the left and right. The problem is the boss stays above them.
True, true.
And, you know, it makes you want to bounce on the boss because you can relatively easily cheese him by just getting on one side of him, bouncing on him 8 times, and he's dead. But then you are much more likely to just fall right through him into the death.
Didn't that happen to me when I fought that boss?
I think I saw you fight it, and yeah, I did. It does make, you know, for a sense that the bosses are faster, and I guess that's...
Yeah, because Sonic 1's bosses were they were kind of slow, which felt just, I don't want to say wrong, but it felt off.
A little sluggish, maybe.
Yeah.
Aquatic Ruin. I actually think this is a better water level than Chemical Plant in a lot of ways.
To be honest, I only vaguely remember it.
It is pretty quick.
Yeah, Aquatic Ruin is pretty solid. It felt more like Aquatic River, actually, because you have a sense that there's water flowing by, but you're not, like, jumping in it most of the time.
Yeah, it's a very horizontal level. I mean, it has verticality to it, as do all these levels, but it feels a little bit like a Sonic CD level, actually, where you can kind of run along the bottom if you want to. I like the music.
I mean, most of the music in Sonic 2 is pretty good. Like, I don't think it's quite Sonic CD level, but like, I don't know if that's a controversial take, but it's pretty solid.
I think you'd have a lot of people on your side for that.
Okay.
Yeah. The one thing I will say, this is probably just me being an idiot, but there's this one part. No, this is definitely just me being an idiot. There's one part underwater where there's like one of those pillars that collapses when you stand on top of it, and there's this little loop that you have to run around on top of one, and I think I just forgot you could spin dash because there's a spring to the left, and I'm like, oh yeah, use the spring to boost you, run around the loop, and then fall on top of the thing. And I kept not being able to do it, and I got stuck on there for like 4 minutes, and then I realized, oh wait, you can do a spin dash, and then you just do it. But the spring misdirected me.
Well, and that's all amplified, because that part's underwater, right?
Yes.
That's all amplified by the water anxiety, which I think the bubbles are faster in this game than Sonic 1. I don't know that for certain, but it still, like, you know, induces feelings of panic.
I think you're right that they're faster. They definitely felt faster.
Oh yeah.
That might just be compared to Sonic 1 8-bit, where they were so slow.
Fair.
That was terrible, yeah, in 8-bit. Speaking of drowning, I think it's weird that Tails has their own countdown timer. Like, I feel like that was almost an oversight, although I feel like that wouldn't be, on accident either. I don't know. It really depends on how it was programmed, I guess, but it's just confusing, because I'm like, oh, I'm about to die. Oh, no, it's just Tails.
The thing to remember is that if you plug in a second controller, that guy can control Tails, as limited as that co-op is. So it's, you know, as minor a hazard as you can get for that, but it's something.
Okay, that explains it.
Let's talk about Tails, actually, since this is his first game. What do you guys think of Tails as a character?
I didn't play the game with Tails.
I don't mean playing as him, because he plays the same as Sonic in this game. He actually can only fly when he's NPC controlled.
Oh, really? Okay. As a character, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I guess I just have complicated opinions on Tails. This is back when Tails was still allowed to be cute, and like modern Tails, he's too big, and it makes him look weird when they try to make like Sonic the older brother to him when he's almost the exact same height.
I think Tails is great. I mean, as a character, this is before I really consider the character of any of the characters, so I don't really have a comment on that, because I feel like it would be wrong to dig too deeply into that. But He's really darn helpful for getting free hits on bosses, I'll tell you.
That's true.
So
That's
there's
true,
that.
yeah.
I know some people have a problem with that because he can hit a boss and the boss can have iframes and then you can pass through it.
That is a
never
little...
happened to me.
Yeah, I don't think that happened to me, but I've heard of that happening, and that's kind of fucky. I
And of
don't know.
course-
I feel like that's not that big of a problem, all things considered.
I suppose we're not speedrunners, and that probably makes a big difference for people who actually try to beat these games super duper fast. Same probably goes for the special stages. I know people hate that Tails can lose rings in the special stages for you.
He can? Oh my gosh.
Well,
Yeah,
not in
yeah,
the not in the remasters. I don't know if they've fixed it before the Taxman remaster, but definitely can in the Genesis
Interesting.
game.
Interesting, okay.
Well, I played the Genesis version, but I only played one special stage to remember how terrible they were, and then I didn't play anymore.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
know
I
why
accidentally got one.
I don't know why the half pipe is such a common recurring theme in Sonic special stages, because it sucks.
I feel like I feel like that's a controversial opinion though, because I've seen a lot of people, maybe not a lot of people, but I don't think I've seen a lot of people saying that it sucks.
A little bit of both for me. I think it's iconic, and that's why people would be likely to defend it. It's a memorable set piece. It's just not fun.
I guess that's more like people just, it's the nostalgia goggles, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
you want nostalgia goggles. I hate the Sonic 2 special stages, but no problem with Sonic Rush or Sonic Colors on the DS special stage. No, those are great, man.
Controlling with Sonic with a stylus is actually totally way easier for those, though.
No, that's true.
Because the travel time is limited to your own motion, not a D-pad.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
also, they're fully 3D and not like 2D vomit vision like the Genesis special stages, which the remaster does improve on a lot with 3D special stages.
Yeah, I will say there's something kind of endearing about the 2D vomit 3D from this Genesis. Not that it's bad, but
Well,
not
it
that
is
it's
bad.
good, excuse me. But there's something kind of endearing about it.
No, it's
So-
signs of a developer that was trying to do something a little bit beyond their reach for the time.
Yeah,
I have a feeling that you will not be as kind to Sonic Drift's fake 3D.
I've seen a little bit of Drift's fake 3D, and yeah, it's a little... Oh boy.
Yeah.
Alright, where were we? Aquatic Ruin, that was it. I
Right.
don't think I have
That was
anything else
fun.
really to say about the stage. I might talk about the boss.
Was the boss just...
Oh yeah.
What? God, the bosses are so unmemorable. I can't remember most of them.
The boss in
remember
Aquatic
this
Ruin
boss.
smacks pillars with a big hammer and they shoot
It's the
arrows and you
hammer.
have to stand on them.
It's the hammer, okay.
I love any boss that has a really hilarious exploit. I love getting on top of one of the pillars and then just destroying him.
Yeah, it makes him go by super fast and that is always fun to pull off. This is the first Egg Hammer boss as far as I can recall. Sonic Advance would have a lot of those.
Oh, I hate those ones. This one is fine.
Interesting, I guess I'll ask you when we get to that. Yeah, this one's alright.
I was gonna say, well, the other bosses actually smack you with the hammer. This one doesn't directly hit you, so that's the key difference.
Yeah.
Casino Night.
I like Casino Night like aesthetically a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's got that sort of Vegas-y feel without all the chain smoking, I guess.
All the chain smoking and getting ripped off by casinos.
I really thought you were gonna say hookers there, but I'm glad you didn't.
I didn't even think of that, to be honest. So that's on you, bud.
Regardless, yes, I agree. It's got a good feel to it. It's interesting because I noted that Act 1 seemed to have almost no hazards. I felt like I was just playing pinball and collecting rings the whole way through, and it was like a good time.
The pinball was kind of
Unless
rough
you don't
for
like
me.
pinball, I guess.
I had some
Sonic's
trouble with the pinball.
Sonic's pinball physics have never been like normal pinball physics, and that's part of the reason that I like it, but it also might be the reason someone else dislikes it.
I mean, that's the thing, though. I just don't like pinball in the first... Or, I'm not a big fan of pinball in the first place.
No, not a pinball guy here either.
Yeah, so it's like, I see that, and I'm like, oh, good. Something I don't particularly like.
This is a story that I told Bruce as I was watching him play. There's these neon signs in Casino Night that look like like tulips or maybe just roses, with
Oh,
petals
yeah.
forked out. But the forked out petals, I always thought that they were Eggman, and that like it was a silhouette of Eggman's fat body, and that was his mustache coming off of it. Which does bring to mind, why are these casinos branded with like people? You don't see a John Cena casino as far as I'm aware.
I mean, maybe not at the moment, but maybe soon.
I
You
guess
have to
from a Japanese
clarify.
developer's perspective, it might make more sense since we got, Metal Gear Solid Silent Hill pachinko machines.
That's true.
Okay. Yeah.
Those are stupid.
But yeah, no, I get what you're saying about pinball. I guess I liked it in this one, but it's funny because I'm realizing actually in a lot of other settings I don't like it in Sonic games.
Like
Maybe
Sonic
it was.
Pinball Party.
That's just.
I don't even
Yes.
remember if I put that on the list of games.
Like Sonic Pinball Party. If you didn't do it now, because that is part of my childhood that I don't want to revisit, but we must talk about.
I'm not gonna massage the listeners' ears with keyboard strokes right now.
No, you don't have to do it now. But yes,
Maybe they won't.
that's
I don't know.
Oh, I've been typing things out all episode.
I can't hear it on your mic.
Okay. I mean, my mic
Anyway.
isn't that sensitive, even though I have a mechanical keyboard, so I'm surprised it's being picked up.
Anyway, what were you gonna say, Lauren?
maybe it's just that for some reason Sonic has this thing with pinball. It shows up so much. Somebody at Sega likes pinball or something.
I think I mentioned that while I was playing Sonic 2.
You
Because-
did, and we were.
I was just gonna say because it shows up in this game, but then it just shows up again and again and again and again. And maybe that's why I'm like, okay, this is its debut, so it's fine. But then it just keeps showing up, and then it gets annoying, in my opinion.
Yeah. The conversation me and Bruce had was, we talked about Sonic, and then we talked about, well, are other circular video game characters susceptible to this? And it's like, kinda. There's like Kirby's Block Ball and whatever the golf game on the SNES was. And there's also like Metroid Prime Pinball, which is one of the funniest games, just on the general seriousness of Metroid.
Damn, that's another game I forgot existed.
You'd think
Sorry,
that
I
they'd
said
do
this
more
was-
sports games with Sonic as the ball, but maybe they don't want him getting smacked with a baseball bat.
I want Sonic Soccer.
You could get Mega Man Soccer, maybe.
I mean, maybe there's a hack.
No, that's a real
Me-
game.
All right.
Well, I mean a hack of Mega Man Soccer that puts in Sonic characters.
Oh, okay.
If not, someone should make that.
I guess I can say, what about the boss though? I think it's kind of fun. I feel like there's a whole lot of extra stuff above that I don't even make any use of, but it's kind of a funny little boss.
It kind of encourages you to play it like a... Because you kind of gotta, like, do the spin dash to the sides. Like, I'm trying to think... Like, I always think of, like, skateboard tracks where you can go up one side and then up another. And I'm trying to not make comparisons to Hot Wheels the movie Highway 35, because I don't think a lot of people are going to get that reference. But that's what I
Who
always
cares?
think of.
Go ahead, do it.
Oh, there's nothing that strong about it. Just
Okay.
half pipes are a recurring theme in that movie for some reason. And I
Alright,
guess
then.
in this game, it's more like a full pipe since the ceiling is closed off and you can roll all the way up and around. But it does make bouncing off stuff to hit Eggman very fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Anyway,
Yeah, there's just not a whole lot to say about a lot of the bosses.
that is true.
right then. Hilltop Zone.
I think I got to a point where I was expecting there to be a hang glider.
Oh, wrong game. I mean, right?
Yeah.
No. Yes.
No, I think I was just traumatized by Sonic 1 8-bit.
Yeah, that's fair, but we'll get there. Yeah, Hilltop Zone.
Or was that Sonic 2 8-bit?
That
That's
was
Sonic 2-8-bit.
2-8-bit.
Okay, well,
The only note I have on Hilltop Zone written down here is that I hate the music because for some reason that it sounds like whining and I hate it.
Well, that's interesting. I really like the harmonica sound. It reminds me of Sesame Street for some reason.
That's random. Okay.
interesting. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'll just stay neutral on Hilltop on the music at least.
Oh, you're gonna let this tie remain unbroken. There's gonna be like weird tension for the entire rest of the show.
Yeah.
This will come back. I'm not done with this one. No.
Yeah, Hilltop Zone is fine, I guess. The parts where it fills with lava or where it, has a cave-in is kind of neat, but it doesn't leave a really strong impression. Other than the
I feel like
boss,
the
which I
lava
like.
kind of comes out of nowhere, because, like, why would it have lava?
I mean, it's a mountain, but it doesn't really look that much like it.
Yeah.
No, it didn't seem out of place to me. But then again, I've played so many video games. I see lava, I'm like, okay, it's just lava, man.
Yeah, they
I
can put
guess,
lava
yeah.
in basically any stage, and it'll be like, yeah, whatever.
I want lava to be the primary theme of the next Call of Duty.
Okay.
I don't even know how that would work.
It's
I do.
Hilltop Zone with the flame Orbinaut, right?
Yeah,
Okay, I like that. That's cool, just because floating fire is cool.
I like the seesaw enemies that you have to bounce back and forth. It's a little bit like an even more dangerous version of a Starlight Zone. The only note I have on the boss is, how does Eggman not just burn to death when you beat him in this level? He has a lava submarine that he goes beneath to attack you with, but he just falls in, and the front of it, I think, breaks when you beat him. So how is he alive?
Eggman's fireproof.
Well, we're still in the cartoon logic zone. I mean, according to these games, Eggman is faster than Sonic the Hedgehog, remember?
That's
That's true.
true. I'm still convinced Eggman is just fireproof.
Yeah, maybe that's another one of his wacky experiments.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's from the Chaos Energy.
Oh dear.
The Sonic Bible's actually been canon this entire time.
Didn't even
Please.
realize.
Oh, that was so bad.
Sega's like, surprise, guys! It was always canon.
I mean, a recurring phrase in the Sonic data book that came out recently is everything is canon, followed by something completely bizarre and wacky in the show notes in that book.
Interesting.
Not heard of that.
It's not that substantive, honestly.
Fair enough.
I don't have anything else for Hilltop Zone.
I don't think
Nope.
there's a whole lot left to say.
All right, Mystic Cave. It's green.
I like Mystic Cave, but only really for its look.
It has a funky theme song.
I agree.
Yeah. You know, Devin, that was perfectly timed because I went to go listen to the music real quick, and you did the intro right when the video I was watching did the intro.
I astound myself with my glowing powers of clairvoyance.
The music's a little weird, but like it's got like that. I don't want to say funky weirdness, but it's the best thing I could think of.
No, it is funky.
Yes, it definitely is. There are a few
and-
Sonic themes that kind of just have that vibe to it. Like Metropolis Zone, I feel like has that same vibe.
I wouldn't call those songs similar at all, even though I like both of them.
Well,
That's
okay,
fine,
maybe
though.
I just have no sense of music, which is totally true.
I don't either. It's I listen to
I'm
one
actually-
band.
I'm actually a musical genius, guys.
Well,
we
you've
got
got
a
the
genius there.
vaporwave fade, so
Well, I also listen to more than one band in the first place.
that too probably. I never made the connection that Mystic Cave was rocks or crystals. I always thought the green stuff was like vegetation, which made it really weird when it was, coming out of the ground and like threatening to crush you, because it's like, it's leaves. What are they gonna do?
Wait, those are crystals and rocks? Seriously?
Yeah, man.
Well,
I never knew that. I thought that was vegetation. It's
We're
weird.
having an epiphany live on show.
damn.
I thought that they would just try to crush you because everything's out to kill you. It's a video game, man.
I know, but it's like, I try to imagine a tree punching somebody in the face, and it's like, if there's not an abundance of wood or roots, it's like...
I figured it was like, a thick branch covered in moss or something. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, it's not, but yeah.
The trees are tired of global warming.
Ooh.
I'm tired of
Topical.
Robotnik shenanigans.
They're tired of the tree massacre of forever.
So now I'll bring up the one thing that people remember about this zone because it caught my attention by accident. I was playing through the game, having a good time, and then I fell in that one pit that just traps you, and you're like, oh, well, now I guess I'll just die.
Ah,
The
yes.
spike pit of death. It is...
That got me as
infamous.
well.
A long shaft where you fall down, and there's spikes at the bottom, and you can keep collecting your rings, but you're not getting out of that pit. There
It's a
is
weird
always the
choice.
story that gets passed around about the person who got all, the people, that is to say, who would get all 7 emeralds and they would get supersonic, but then they would fall in this pit with 500 rings and be forced to just sit there until either they ran out of rings or ran out of time. because there's no way for you to untransform.
I guess that Supersonic is in this game, isn't it? I guess we should talk about that at some point, but I forget that because no, I'm not getting the emeralds.
Yeah,
Honestly,
same.
I don't have much to say about it. Maybe this is because I'm a little bitch who didn't unlock it, but he's faster, he's invincible all the time, he's a Dragon Ball Z ripoff. There really is not that much complication to the story. You'd think that there would be, given how obvious a reference it is to anyone who's seen both. But, the most interesting thing is that whoever it was that put it in, I don't think it was Naka, I don't remember who it was, but I know they didn't ask before they did it, which meant that, I guess if, Shueisha or whoever decided to be like, hey, that looks like our intellectual property, and threaten legal action, that definitely would have gotten that guy in trouble, but they didn't because it's just kind of a parody. So,
Right.
Yeah, well, it is a little side thing in this game. It doesn't really become more central until later when they start using it in plots and stuff. So I guess that's true. There's not a whole lot to say about it.
Yeah, I guess a lot of things, this is the same deal as the Tale stuff. It'll be bigger come the games with actual dialogue in them. So,
right. It is interesting that there is a bit of a story in this game, though, although it's kind of hard to gather. But I was like, wait, I think something's going on here when Sonic jumps and takes off on a little thing from Wing Fortress to the Death Egg. I'm like, I feel like I missed a story, but I feel like there was a story here.
Yeah, it's a lot of wordless sort of old cartoon style storytelling. The thing that I always come back to, because people, have very, very loud and complex opinions on storytelling in Sonic the Hedgehog games. And a lot of fans like to hold the classic games up as paragons of good storytelling because it's environmental storytelling, which is sort of true because the environments do have, a history of the world, and in Sonic 3's case, especially the culture of Angel Island. But I think the fact that Sonic does not emote that much during what cutscenes these games do have really weakens it. It makes it feel like he's not that much of a character.
Yeah,
it's not like Tails makes a face when the tornado goes down in Sonic 2. He just kind of sits there.
I think that's a good way of describing Sonic. He's got an attitude.
But yeah, there isn't much in the cutscenes. Actually, the most expressive character in cutscenes is Eggman, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He's fun. He carries them whenever he's there, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
I always got freaked out in Mystic Cave by the rotating boxes, because I always thought they were going to crush me. And I'm sure you can get crushed by them, but I've never been crushed by them, just scared of being crushed.
Oh yes, well, once I'm at this point, I have well wisened up to the classic games' crushing tendencies. So yes, I feel you there.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm almost forgetting. We were talking about the Spike Pit of Doom before, and I forgot to mention the absolute coolest thing that the Christian Whitehead remaster of Sonic 2 does, which is that it removes that Spike Pit and replaces it with an entrance to a hidden level that was cut from Sonic 2.
Right.
There's a shame I played a version that didn't have that.
Well, I did too, but then I went and changed to the regular decompilation. We'll talk about the versions in a second, or later.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, Hidden Palace Zone is awesome. It's this big one-act sort of level, and it's really cool looking and has totally different graphical stylings than the entire rest of the game. And it's fun.
Well, naturally, yes.
It also has a Robotnik boss at the end that uses a trombone against you, which is incredible.
I saw that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
But there's not that much to it beyond that, though.
Well, I didn't play it, but yeah.
I mean, I guess it's just cool for it to be there because it's cut content.
Yeah, I mean, it was so
really
legendary that people kept, finding it in the beta versions of Sonic 2. There are more beta versions of Sonic 2 that have been found than maybe any other game, or at least more documentation on them.
Yeah, I mean, Sonic 2 went through a hell of a development, so I think that's why we keep finding new beta versions.
I didn't know that there's a real history behind Sonic 2. I mean, I knew about Sonic 3 because, I mean, obviously, the way it was released, but really there's something to Sonic 2?
Yeah, it went through a lot of changes. It started out as a game where Sonic would basically be time traveling through different zones at different times, which, of course, is the premise to Sonic CD. And I don't know if Hidden Palace had a special significance in the story of that, but it does have big rocks that look like the Master Emerald, so.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, neat.
Yeah. Alright, Oil Ocean Zone. I don't like it very much.
Oh, I love Oil Ocean Zone. What? I think
Really?
it
Yeah.
looks awesome.
I kind of
Yeah.
liked it also.
Wow. Okay, tough crowd. I want to
I
hear it.
don't know what it was about it, to be honest. It was just, I feel like oil just is not something used in games very often, and I think kind of cool.
Oh, it's a cool
I
theme,
really,
certainly.
yeah, I think it's really neat that, well, chemical plant, like, oh, we got chemicals, but it's just water. But Oil Ocean, no. Now you sink through the oil, and if you fall in, you can struggle your way out. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
It does lead to some neat sequences. I do like the parts where there's oil just on the floor and you can like slip slide along it. I just feel like the enemy layout and the amount of hazards, I feel like I get bounced around a lot and fall in the oil just too much.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say it wasn't frustrating at times, but it never like made me rage all out.
Right.
I also may be biased a little bit because Mania colors my opinion. I love Oil Ocean in Mania. I wish there were file shields here, but oh well. So that's another reason I think I like it here.
Being able to light Oil Ocean Zone on fire in Mania was intensely satisfying. I do like that game's version of it. The boss is actually a pretty good challenge.
Yeah, the boss. Once again, I was like, oh, but this time the other direction. I'm like, I'm glad I'm not in Mania now. I hate the Mania boss, but the boss here, yeah, it didn't completely annoy me to death. It's pretty interesting, and I really like how the lasers burn across the ground. That looks rad.
Yeah, that's always been something cool. It mixes up its attack patterns just enough to be interesting, and I like the fishhook thing that it launches. It almost doesn't feel like certain parts of its attacks are part of the Eggman submarine itself, because he just kind of comes up and sits there, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, I don't really know what's up with that. It feels more like you're cycling between three different things.
Yeah, it's like in a war, if like every third shot a tank fired, and then some guy would just like get out and like wave at the enemy.
Well, not so much here, but in later Sonic games, that is a lot like how Eggman bosses feel.
See if you can get through here, Sonic.
That's literally the boss I was picturing in my mind.
Yeah. No, the bosses manage to not at least feel patronizing in that regard, I suppose. Alright, here we go. Metropolis Zone. Do we got complex opinions on this place? Because I got complex opinions on this place.
I don't like the slicers.
My opinion is pretty cut and dry. I mean, I have a lot to say, but my opinion is not complex.
All right, well let's start with what Bruce said. The badniks in this stage. I mean, I love badniks because I think that they're really cool robot designs. I think that's a very underrated part of Sonic's appeal, is that it always leads to cool mechanical designs. But the placement of the enemies in Metropolis Zone is absolutely bonkers. It annoys me to no end.
Well, yeah, that's true. It was obviously on purpose. They're always like right at the edge of platforms.
They're on purpose, but the slicers that have, blades that home into, the Asterons that, get close to you and then explode into 5 points.
Yeah, no, that's true. The slicers are like I rage, but then I laugh immediately afterwards because it just sits there and does nothing.
Yeah, they make it's like a bee sting. It kills itself as it attacks you or whatever.
Well, no, that's the way like the Asteron works. This one, it just sits there afterwards.
I guess it just leaves
for you to
itself
get
vulnerable.
score.
Yeah, I suppose it's like if a bee like ripped its stinger out and threw it at you and then didn't die.
Basically, yeah. But
Nobody draw that. That sounds gross.
That is that's an interesting thought.
The music is fantastic.
Music is great.
Okay, so I'd have to disagree with you there. I don't know. When I have an opinion on music, I don't really have a lot to say. I just don't like it. It doesn't jive with me, man. Something about it, it cuts. It goes like it feels like it's, I don't know, hitting me on the head or something.
I kind of get that.
Okay.
It's got the
Yeah, okay.
crunchiest percussion of any song in this game, I think. It's got a lot of...
Mhm.
It is a weirdly, like... I don't know music terms, but it sounds too happy for the death trap that is the stage.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it fits pretty well.
It
guess.
kind of has that what is it? A mechanical feeling to it.
It definitely
Yeah, I
does. Yeah, I
suppose.
would have to say so.
It is the perfect song to... I guess it's not a complete death trap, you know, because most games wouldn't hesitate to kill you in various terrible ways in a stage like this, but you can't even get ground up in the gears in this game.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. I always
You'd think
do
that those would
feel
crush
like
you.
I'm about to, but they don't. Yeah, the zone is full of terrible stuff though. Why? Is there a reason? There's got to be a reason. Why are there 3 acts?
I can answer that.
Ah,
So,
yes.
in the era of Sonic 2 Beta, where it was time travel based, this stage was originally called Wood Zone, I believe. And it's like it would have a past and present, and I think, yeah. And like the zoom tubes in this stage would be, you know, just little like tree doors that you would go in one end and come out the other. You know, it's like fan comics and fan games would always use the tile set from Wood Zone to represent like Knothole Village from Sat AM, which I always thought was kind of cute. But originally, is you'd have the 2 acts of Wood Zone, and then the 3rd act, which might have been combined with Sky Chase Zone, so that's also 1 act. I don't know that part for certain. I'd have to get back to you on that. But the 3rd act was originally a totally different level. And it's very funny because the final name for the level before it got cut was Cyber City Zone, which is fine. The original title that they picked for it was Genocide City, which is a
I've
little
not
over
heard
the
this
top,
story,
I
but
think,
yes, I've heard
for
that.
Sonic. I mean,
Wasn't
we'll
the
get to
case
later
just
games,
because they thought the word genocide sounded cool?
yes, they chose the word genocide when they didn't know what it means because they thought it sounded cool to say.
Okay.
Which really puts into perspective anybody that tries to treat like a Japanese game developer's word as like the holy gospel.
Yeah.
You know, Elden Ring has just come out, and I'm already seeing a lot of that from fans of that series, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so that's the interesting story behind Metropolis Zone's development. What I want to know is the story behind the boss, which launches balloon versions of itself at you.
Oh my gosh.
That was
The thought is
weird.
hilarious. I love it.
I'm just imagining like an alternate timeline where Robotnik never went bad and just became like a friendly balloon salesman. Oh, hello, Sonic.
Yeah.
I can make you all kinds of interesting art.
Yeah, I can
It's
see
not a
that.
very good Eggman voice, but sue me.
I tried, which is more than I can knock you for.
Fair enough. That part at the end of the stage, so you got those like nut elevators that like rotate along
boy.
the screw.
Oh boy. Yeah.
That part of the end of the stage where you're running up some of those and the Asterons keep firing off you, that part is hell.
Okay, so, you know, I learn little things about these games when I replay them. I always just like pain, fall over, do it again, pain, pain. But I realized, wait a second. You can get Tails to run with you in the same direction. You go up super fast. And I was like, what the heck? This is insane.
Oh.
It's just one of those neat little tricks that makes the game not as terrible.
Oh.
That's pretty good. I never thought of that, and you know, as I was watching Bruce play, I never thought to suggest that to him, just have Tails do it.
Interesting.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah, it makes me wonder how interesting the game would be co-op, because I didn't try it, but yeah.
I do not know if there is a real like co-op way to play. I mean, yes, you can play co-op with the 2 controllers, obviously, but that still limits you to player 1's screen. I wonder if anybody has made any sort of, you know, online version of these games, because that would be kind of neat to play in co-op.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, maybe I'm biased speaking as the SRB2 fan, but you know. Anyway,
I mean, in theory, that could be done with NetPlay on an emulator, maybe.
I don't know if you'd be able to have 2 screens, but in any case.
Well, yeah, that would require modifying the game, but yeah.
So, Sky Chase Zone. It is an auto-scroller, and it's weird. It can be easy, can be kind of difficult depending on how you play. If you spin dash, you will die.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, Mania trained me for this again because I learned about spin dashing from Mania, so I never even tried it here.
I didn't even know it was the same in that game because I learned from here and didn't try it in that one. Our journeys,
perfect.
they parallel each other.
Yes, they do. But yeah, Sky Chase. What the heck? I said auto scrollers were no good in Sonic games, and I stand by my statement.
Yeah.
I think it's probably better than if you had to do any actual platforming. Mostly
I
it's just an
always,
enemy gauntlet.
I always, for some reason, cannot help myself but stand on the turtles as platforms, though.
I do
Because
like
it's just
doing
funny to me. Also, the turtle like pilots, they just look so cute for some reason to me.
Yes. The small animals trapped inside them die when you save them.
What?
Damn, Ripperoni.
Well, I mean, you're up in the sky, so they fall down.
Okay, in Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Labyrinth Zone, the animals literally run on lava. They are immortal gods. They will be fine.
Do they run on lava, or do they just go off screen? You can't see if they die.
No, they run on lava. I distinctly remember crossing one of those platforms, and the animals goes like boing, 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 like ha, nerd.
Okay,
You have
so
to actually
that brings to
go
mind
over
an
the lava.
interesting question then. If animals can survive that, is Eggman that much of a villain?
I mean,
What do you mean?
If you're an immortal being that can stand on lava and survive, it kind of sounds just that a guy would try to siphon your massive power.
I don't think that really justifies it.
not really.
I suppose it's still slavery. You wouldn't
Yes.
make Superman your slave.
Also, remember, Eggman also can survive lava. So actually, that's not extraordinary in this universe.
You're right. I did make that's pretty good. I didn't think of that.
Well, damn, Sonic's kind of the extraordinary one for not being able to.
Poor Sonic. Even Tails comes back. Anyway, video game logic. Isn't it hilarious?
Well, one funny thing that the Taxman remaster does is it adds little parachutes to the turtles when they fall out. Interestingly,
You're serious?
Yes, interestingly, it doesn't add them to the chickens, which just because they're birds doesn't mean they can survive falling from that height, guys.
I mean, chickens could at least maybe glide.
Okay.
I guess I'm not an aviologist.
I'm pretty sure I've seen gliding chickens before.
I mean, Ocarina of Time, but
I was talking in real life, but
I know
yeah,
I'm being a bitch. Anyway, Sky Chase Zone. It's kind
it's
of
a zone.
There's nothing to say, in my opinion. It's just Sky Chase Zone. And
Yeah, I mean,
too long.
I think I listed it as one of the quote-unquote bad stages, but it's not really bad. It's just it's boring.
It's definitely not too tough in comparison to the next stage, Wing Fortress.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh,
you want to
boy.
take the lead with this one, Bruce?
So I hate to go straight to the end of the stage, but at the end of the stage when there's I guess what are they, like flip up platforms?
The turret platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The version when I was playing it, for some reason, what was it, like 5 or 6 times, maybe even more than that?
I think it was more. I do not know what happened there.
Basically, I'd get through like 3 of them, and then the next one wouldn't come out, and then I'd die.
Yeah, they're like Mega Man Yoku blocks, except they don't follow a pattern, apparently.
Yeah.
I have never had trouble with that part.
Neither have I. You should have seen this when it happened. It was bonkers.
I mean, to be fair, when it actually worked, I had no trouble with it either.
That is bizarre.
No, but I watched him several times. This was over the course of at least probably 10 minutes,
Oh,
where he
easily
would jump
10
onto
minutes.
the platforms, and then he would get to the last one, and there's, that second set, and the one he was standing on would just fall, and the other one wouldn't appear.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, I already was not really enjoying the stage, and that really just sealed the deal on being like, yeah, no, fuck this stage.
It's a weird one-act marathon level with a lot of annoying hazards and a bottomless pit running along the entire bottom part of the stage.
Yeah, the stage didn't give me a very good first impression, but again, I feel like I'm just an idiot sometimes when I play these games. At the very beginning, when Tails starts crashing, I'm like, oh, okay, it's a cutscene, right? And I just died, and I'm like, oh.
Oh, you just let yourself fall.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty great.
That's pretty funny.
But yeah, it's got a lot of annoying hazards to it.
Got a lot of tricks, traps.
Tricks and traps.
So, I also, I don't know if this was just me, but I felt it's only one zone, but it felt like the length of like 2 zones.
Most
Yeah.
definitely. When you said it was one act, I'm like, yeah, I guess it was. I didn't realize.
It's tough. And I mean, there are ways to cheese it. There are exploits. There's a spinning blade at the beginning that's meant to block you and be a hazard. But if you iframe through it, you can basically skip like half the entire stage.
Oh.
But you wouldn't know to do that necessarily. It also here's something neat. The clucker enemy in this level, which is the chicken that like shoots at you with the machine gun.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
whatever.
The turret
That
chicken.
is what would eventually become Scratch on Adventures of Sonic. And I forgot to mention it back in Aquatic Ruin, but the Grounder's in that level.
Oh,
Yeah.
Red
Well,
and not green, but
he was also in Labyrinth Zone.
Labyrinth Zone has Burrowbot, but he's pretty differently shaped.
Wait, those aren't the same? I literally thought they were the same enemy.
Nope, they got different names.
Well, thanks, Sonic the Hedgehog. So are you telling me that there's like Buzz Bombers and like Buzz Shooters in the second game?
You say that as a joke, but literally in the first game they're called Buzz Bombers, in the second game they're just called B.
Wait, are you serious?
I am
That's
serious.
Stupid. I thought they were just like, 2.0. What?
Yeah. Oh, I guess Coconuts is also in Emerald Hill Zone, but I always think of him as just the Kiki enemy that gets in every Sonic game, so.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, Wing Fortress Zone, it kind of just stresses me out, man. There's this one part near the beginning where you're like holding on to, monkey bar type thing above a bottomless pit. And like, I feel like I'm dangling a million feet in the air as I'm timing my jumps precisely to the platform. And I don't think the flames can burn you.
They do
unless
not.
You're an idiot?
I saw Bruce test it, and I was blown away, because as I was
That's
watching him
right.
play this game, I was like, those don't hurt you? I've been dodging those for 10 years, and they don't hurt you?
that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, something in the back of my mind told me I don't think they actually hurt you, but I still avoid them like I'm about to be incinerated.
Because every other instance of fire in these games does hurt you. The exhaust on Eggman's machines hurts you.
Yeah.
The reason I was pretty sure they don't hurt you is because there are bits where it looks like you touch them a little bit, and I'm like, is the hitbox too small? But I didn't test it because I'm not wasting my lives.
Yeah. Speaking of feeling like you're wasting your lives, the boss of this level has had a very varied experience for us.
God, yeah.
How so?
You have to jump on these, little platforms with spikes on the bottom that it shoots out, and then you have to hit the big laser before it goes off. And this was a struggle for Bruce.
Yeah, I think it was just because, brain slow, brain hurty. It was also like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we were getting pretty tired by that point.
But I still felt like there was some major BS in there.
Well, it's not always clear what the hitbox of the spike platforms are because they rotate. And the other part is your rings tend to get bounced outside the laser barriers.
That was my biggest problem.
I like this doesn't happen often. I feel like they do this on purpose. Where there are rings in the arena, so if you're smart, just leave them and don't collect them until you lose your actual rings you're holding on to. So you get extra hits.
Yeah, that would be a good thing for most games to do. I mean, it's one thing to complain about difficulty, it's another thing to feel like it's not within your hands whether you succeed or not.
Yeah.
Well, that person never had a problem with this boss. It's not easy, but it never felt unfair.
It's not a huge deal to me. I think we've sort of got a gradient of problems with this boss that goes Bruce, Devin, Lauren. It's okay.
At the end of the day, I did beat it, so
yeah,
it couldn't have been that
nice.
bad.
Yeah. Well, and what could have been that bad is Death Egg Zone, which I think, it ups the scale with a flying fortress that leads into a space station, but then that space station has no rings on it and 2 bosses that are not easy even with rings.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yes. My heart was pounding by the end of this, I tell you. I only had 2 lives left. I didn't know if I would be able to beat the game without having to, cheat. But I just barely, man.
Well, and this is why you are a trooper, is because me and Bruce, like with our first episode, we both played the mobile decompilation, and the Sonic 2 Absolute version of that lets you turn on infinite lives, and that was how we got through a lot of that.
Yeah, a lot of the
And-
bullshit was dealt with through Infinite Lives, and we
But the
also
fact
used a
that-
mod for the final boss.
Yes, Bruce did.
Uh-oh.
Used a
Oh,
little mod
okay.
that just gives him, I think, a total of 6 rings in Death Egg Zone between the 2 bosses.
Yeah.
But the fact
Oh,
that you
yeah.
did it without that, you were a trooper, man.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I mean, I did
Well,
it too, but I still had infinite lives.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, the first time was absolute rage when I played it however many years ago. Yeah, I did that whole game again after losing to this stupid Death Egg robot. I was just like, how do you even hit it? Because you think, hey, Eggman, you hit him in the face. But no, if you jump at him and he's
Uh-huh.
not bent, no, you're dead.
Yep.
That was so stupid. I hated that.
Well, and it's interesting that we jump right to Eggman, because it means that we have little to say about Mecha Sonic. It's not Silver Sonic, it's Mecha Sonic. But
That's right, yeah.
he's so much more learnable as a pattern.
Yeah, well, after
No.
about 3 or 4 tries, not 3 or 4 tries, after I got those rings and I did it, probably only like 3 or 4 times after I got the rings, I was
Yeah.
getting Mecha Sonic down pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Mecha Sonic, he just moves in a completely predictable pattern.
Yeah.
Also, I did not realize this until this playthrough. You can bounce on him twice between vulnerability phases, and I'm like, whoa.
Oh,
didn't
I
know
think
that.
Devin, I think I taught you that you can stop him while he's rolling or while he's sliding.
Yeah, while he's sliding left and right, you discovered that you can hit him during that, and I thought that he was
Oh, really?
still damageable during that. Yeah, you can't while he's spinning, but
No, not while he's spinning, while he's sliding.
Well, it doesn't help that it doesn't encourage experimentation when one hit is death.
Right.
it's so strange that they do this and that they keep doing it for a certain period of time. We're gonna do Sonic CD and Sonic 3 next, which those do not do it, but you learn this rule set throughout the game that your performance is based on your ability to pick up your rings when you get hit, and then
Right.
it suddenly removes that ability and then punishes you for not immediately adapting to the new rules that they've set for you in the final boss.
Yeah, I mean, at least in the 8-bit games, I can't believe I'm saying something positive about the 8-bit games. They do it for every single boss, so you
Yeah.
learn it. But then it's just,
Yeah.
nope, that's just how it works in the 16-bit games.
Get them started on the paranoia young, as they say.
Right. Yeah, it's a real shame, honestly, because I really like these final boss designs.
Yeah.
Oh, the designs are excellent.
Everything
It's
about
great.
the presentation is cool. You know, we get our first robot Sonic in the series, and he's this big chunky thing, which, Metal Sonic I like better, but that's, opinions. But then you have this giant Eggman mech, and that thing is iconic, that there are countless rip-offs of that thing across the series. And it's certainly more engaging visually, and I guess in terms of gameplay, than the Piston Machine from Sonic 1.
Yeah,
But it's all-
Sonic 1 felt like we couldn't make an actually difficult boss, so we'll just take your rings away. In this game, they made a difficult boss, and then they took your rings away too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is a very good way of putting it.
But good things, bad things, they all have to come to an end, and eventually Death Egg Zone does, and I like the ending to this game. It's a cute little, I guess, slideshow, not animation.
Yeah, I mean, I think I skipped it, to be honest.
You were in a bad mood by the end of that.
But yeah, by the end of that, I had to do Death Egg, and over. God, I probably had to do it like 15 times just
It
to
was a
get
lot of
both
tries.
bosses. And I was molding by the end of it. But I don't think that says bad on the game, because for the rest of the game, I was having a pretty good mood.
Yeah, and it's not like you missed anything super substantial in the ending. It's literally,
no.
It's literally just, they see the Death Egg exploding from the sky, which, what causes the Death Egg to explode?
Sonic
I guess
planted
it's that he
a
beats the
nuke.
big robot?
Sonic planted a nuke.
It's
No,
like if they
it's-
destroyed one AT-ST in Star Wars and it caused an entire Star Destroyer to explode.
Well, all of Eggman's creations tend to be highly explosive. I mean, it doesn't make any logical sense that you hit the cockpit and the whole thing blows up. What?
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
I guess if I take a baseball bat to my windshield, it's not going to make the engine explode.
As far as you know.
I guess I'm not going to try it to find out, so...
I'm about to say you don't know, so you should probably try it out.
Yeah, we're skipping ahead a little bit, but again about that subtle story. I love that the Death Egg comes back in the next game, chronologically.
Yeah,
Not
well, because Sonic
actually
knocks it
released.
out of the sky here and it lands on Angel Island.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't think I took any notes on the credits. No, I didn't.
Those are just credits.
So,
Yeah.
final judgments on Sonic 2. I think it's, in most ways, pretty much better than Sonic 1. I think
Yeah.
that some of the level gimmicks are not fully explored, but other than, Green Hill being the Tatooine of Sonic, an unremarkable location given unnecessary significance by how much it forcibly calls back to it later, I think that almost everything else about Sonic 1 is skippable, and you can start with 2.
I think, yeah, you could go play Green Hill Zone, and then just go play Sonic 2.
Yeah, it's. I already said it. It's funny. I counter you can just skip Sonic 1 with. I would play Sonic 1. I'll just skip Sonic 2 and go to Sonic 3.
Ooh.
Okay.
I don't dislike Sonic 2, and I must admit, technically, it is an improvement. But it just doesn't stick with me, man. Also, personally, from Metropolis onward, I'm not really having much fun with the game.
That's a fair point.
That's fair, yeah.
I guess it's sort of like if Sonic 1 continued for several levels after Scrap Brain became Labyrinth Act 4.
Yeah, it's not a good impression it leaves me with at the end.
Still overall a fun time, though, and I'm...
Oh, yeah.
that's the last time I'm going to be saying that tonight.
It is a fun time, but I found myself very much playing through Sonic 2 on autopilot.
Yeah, I think the level design is not so deep that you can absorb it fully.
Right. I found myself really just running through the game doing the paces, just kind of almost zoning out or like chatting with you and Matt.
Hmm.
I guess that's not really a bad thing, though. It's just a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it depends on what you look for in a game.
Yeah, I mean, different games offer different sorts of experiences, and yeah, that's certainly true. It's good to have a comfy game like that, I guess, if you call that comfy.
Yeah.
But
I think comfy's a fair way of putting it.
Yeah. But now, of course, we will talk about a game which I don't think anybody was looking for. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Master System and Game Gear.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It is questionable in many aspects.
Oh boy.
To start with, the plot of this one, because this one has a definite plot that you can actually summarize, is that Dr. Robotnik kidnaps Tails, and it's up to Sonic to save him.
To save him before Robotnik fucking kills him.
I don't know how Tails dies in this game, but yes, if you don't get all the Chaos Emeralds, Tails dies.
That's what it looked like to me, yeah.
In fact, that's one of my notes, is just Tails dies, lol.
Yeah, that is the most remembered thing about this game, and it wouldn't be that memorable, but then there's the rest of the game, so...
Yeah, so, about Tails, why? If he's kidnapped, why is he in all the zone images, though?
Because he's cute.
You just read my first note out loud, that's very funny. He's in all of the zone images, and he doesn't have Tails in any of them.
Oh, he's just... Wait, if he doesn't have Tails, then what is he? What's his name? This is Tails' brother.
We're gonna get into fanfiction territory here, and I'm pulling us back out. Yeah, I actually don't remember if maybe he has Tails on some of them, but a lot of them he doesn't.
I'm curious.
That's interesting. I did not expect fan theorizing fuel here.
Yeah, here's a fun little tidbit. The title screen in this game is based off of the beta version of the Genesis game's title screen, where Sonic is in a different pose and has his kind of like shoulder resting on it, which is fun.
Really? Oh yeah. Interesting.
All the levels are different from the Genesis version. I don't think there's a single level from Sonic 2 16-bit that's in this game.
I don't think so.
Yeah, the first game wasn't really there, but this one entirely fails to feel like a different version of the same game. It's not even the same game.
No, it really should have been called something else. It's only called Sonic 2 because Sonic 2 is Sonic 2.
Yeah, it was coming out at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got stages like Underground Zone, which creative title there. Aqua Lake, I don't know. We'll get to those when we get to those.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited for the Swiss cheese zone.
It does look like Aqua Lake does look like Swiss cheese. You're right. You still can't spin dash in this game, which shows that they were developing it so concurrently with real Sonic 2 that they couldn't even add that.
Yeah,
You can pick up your rings now.
that
I noticed that, and I was like, good job. You learned.
yeah, good job. The game is slightly, somewhat, a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, this did not last past the first zone, but when I started out playing Underground Zone, I was like, it was actually kind of fun. It totally ceased from the boss onward, though.
I think for some levels of this game, not a lot of them, but for some of them, they do feel more like real video game levels than Sonic 1's did. But that's also a problem because the emeralds are still, just lying around out in the open in this game. But it makes them way harder to find because there's actual depth to the level design. And also, there's a whole bunch of crud in the level design.
Yeah, I did not
Underground Zone is not that bad. You got stalactites, you got minecarts.
It was nice playing Donkey Kong.
Yeah, it's Donkey Kong but bad.
Yeah.
And then of course there is the first boss, which I'm gonna call the ball stomping boss, which is funny because it tries to stomp you with balls, and because on the Game Gear version it literally stomps on your balls because it is so difficult on the Game Gear version.
Oh, that wonderful screen crunch.
Screen crunch. It drops bouncing like wrecking cannonball or whatever's on you, and you just have to dodge it. You don't even fight a boss in
Yeah,
this boss.
I think that was my problem, is that you don't even fight the boss.
So I have a question. What's going on? But before you answer my question, if there is an answer, my theory. So before the boss, I was like, "Oh, I'm about to die in lava. I guess I screwed up the jump." Then Eggman saves you, and I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
Eggman saved me?" And I'm like, "What's going on?" And then there's this thing that's trying to kill you. You're like, "Oh no!" But then they're like these balls start going for the side and hitting it. I'm like, "Oh, I got it. There's this pest. Eggman can't get rid of it. He needs my help." And so I don't know what I did to help actually, but the balls destroy him, and then he comes in, charges, destroys it. He's like, "Thanks, Sonic. Truce over," and then he leaves.
That's amazing. It's a Sonic version of the movie Tremors. Eggman needs to fight the graboids. This is a whole different game developing in the background here. It's amazing.
We're gonna end up making our own Sonic fan game by the end of this.
Oh,
No, we're not, but it's a fun fantasy. No, and on the Master System version, it's not that hard to dodge it, but
No,
Yeah.
it's just, I think the problem really is just the fact that you don't fight it.
yeah,
It's
well,
weird, man.
we'll be fighting some other bosses.
Oh boy, we will be.
Here's one little thing. The egg capsule that you destroy after the boss, that's the same one that they use in the Night Special stages of Sonic Robo Blast 2. And that's interesting to me just because I had been playing SRB2 for a very long time and didn't know that capsule was from an actual Sonic game.
Congratulations.
Fun facts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sky High Zone. It has a hang glider in it. It's like Super Mario World, but bad.
God, the hang glider.
This was the first time, but it was also not the last time that I had to look up a guide on how to play Sonic the Hedgehog.
So this was the first of the games that I streamed over on our other Discord. And I mentioned I was going to be streaming the game, and one of our friends came in, and I got to the hang glider, died twice, and then messaged Devin saying, "Yo, hop into general, I need help."
Yeah.
And the Devin proceeded to be absolutely no help because he said, "I have no idea how to control it."
I don't know. I didn't know how to control it myself. I got to it, and I just kind of sailed over things, and then
You
I won
bullshit
the
your way
level.
through
I
it.
think I got lucky. Maybe God was on my side.
Definitely.
You had the power of God and anime.
Oh, yeah.
It's the only explanation because I could not get it. I tried.
Oh, also,
No, it's
before I
right.
forget, Devin, I think I told you this. This was my first Sonic game.
Yeah, you
Seriously?
said... Well, here, you tell the story.
So, not long after I got my Wii, actually, I don't know how long. I don't know when Master System games came to the Wii Virtual Console.
Probably pretty
But-
early.
I was looking at the Wii Virtual Console. I was like, oh, Sonic. I've heard of Sonic. let's buy this game, thinking, and I thought it was the Genesis Sonic 2 because I'd heard that was a good game.
Yeah,
and I bought it.
It is.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, I bought this game, Sonic 2 8-bit, and I'm like, this first level doesn't look right. To be fair, I don't think I made it past the first level also.
Yeah.
Well, you were fortunate then, I suppose.
I just wanted to mention that before I forgot.
Yeah,
That is a
Sky High
trip,
Zone is.
man.
Got
Yeah,
lightning
Sky
strikes.
High Zone is something else, definitely. So, I think this is a glitch or something, but I had an invincibility, and when I fell in the pit, then I'm just like standing on a pit, and I'm like, what? And then it ran out, and then I'm just standing there, and
Yes,
I'm like,
that happened to me as well.
was something wrong? And then I like jumped, and then it hit me, but it didn't like kill me like it was supposed to do. No, I just lost my rings.
Yep.
And I'm like, what is going
It's
on?
a pit that acts like spikes.
I felt like I was having a dream because I have dreams when I play video games and the rules don't line up.
It's truly a masterpiece of good level design.
Oh yes, extremely good level design.
I kind of like the second act actually because it's fun to run around on top of clouds, except for the fact that it's not very obvious which clouds are solid. My most positive thing about the entire zone is actually the boss, which I just find to be hilarious.
It's a big chicken.
Exactly.
Oh right, the chicken.
The first of several bosses that don't quite fit their environments in this game. Some do, some don't.
The bosses are weird because this is a little too early. Well, I'm actually trying to think about this. I'm not a complete Sonic nerd. Are there other bosses where it's just like a robot and like Eggman's not there without any explanation? I feel like
It's
usually you at least have
in the Game
Eggman.
Gear games and not much else.
Okay. Because it feels off to me. Yeah, it's just weird.
Aqua Lake, made out of cheese.
The Swiss cheese zone.
You can kind of bounce. You can like skip Sonic off the water like a rock. That's
yeah, I
fun.
sure wish I'd known that.
Well, because you can only do it for
really?
certain bits, and it's like, hey,
Right.
hey, this is fun. This water level might actually be good, and then you get underwater, and it's like, oh.
Remember that there was a specific jumping section where you can't gain enough momentum. If you're on like the platform below the platform you need to be on, you have to be one that's 2 below it.
Yeah, the water slows you down so much that you'll clip back through platforms and not be able to stand on them. Which I don't know if we've talked about the collision in these games, but there's so many moments where you'll jump on a platform and you can almost stand on it, and there'll be like one frame where Sonic does get above it, and then it shoots you back off to the side.
Oh yeah, I've not noticed that. The water physics though are definitely something else in this. I've not had this happen to me before in a Sonic game that I can remember. I fall on spikes, and then the damage throws me backwards. I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta run off the spikes quick to safety. And the game's like, no. And then I just die, and I'm like, huh? Like, there's just not enough time between invincibility frames?
Yeah, it feels untested, which is a similar feeling that we got from Sonic 1 8-bit, but I think that game might have been better tested than this. I can't say that for certain.
I feel like Sonic 1 8-bit was like barely more complete feeling.
I would have to agree.
The music in Aqua Lake sounds a little bit like Wacky Workbench. I don't have anything else to say about that, but
I'll admit a lot of the music in this game is not horrible.
It's okay.
Yeah, music's fine. Not really memorable in my opinion.
Yeah, nothing's really memorable about it, but
well, there's one song I remember really well, but that's because it's a different song.
Fair.
You have to float around in a bubble in this level.
That's it. The lobsters.
The
lobsters.
To be more accurate, you have to almost float around in a bubble and then screw up and then have to retry, and it takes like 15 seconds each time, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it builds up.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad it wasn't just me. Both the bubble sections, I mean, it's not like there's only 2, but there's 2 that stuck out for some reason. There's one that took me like,
I think.
There's 2 that took me like 5 minutes. And I'm like, what the heck? Why was that so difficult? But literally, you tap a wall, pop, you're going down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, that was terrible. But at least it's over. And then there was the one with the lobsters and the spears, and I'm like, huh? No, I already did the
Can I
time.
do this?
And the lobsters move at like 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, God.
They're aggressive.
why am I slow? Why do I go slow? I'm Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's especially devious because they also make the bubbles have a mechanic where you can speed up or slow down your ascent by pressing up and down on the D-pad.
Yeah.
And you need to slow down to thread some of the needle-thin tunnels that they need you to float through.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah.
It took me a while to realize that was a thing you could do.
Yeah, the only solace of this mechanic is that you don't have to worry about air for it.
Yeah, it's funny. I knew about this mechanic because, again, hello, Sonic Mania. Good game. We'll get there. And in Sonic Mania, the bubble mechanic was like, pretty neat, actually.
actually don't
So
remember
I
it.
was really shocked when it was terrible in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Mania has a way of taking bad ideas and making them into good ones.
Mm-hmm.
And this is definitely a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yes, just the whole thing.
Me and Bruce both played, on Master System emulators with save states, and the thing we found was that the save states didn't save us, because we would get to the top or, lose the bubble or something and think, oh, well, I'll be good this time, and then, no, you have to go back down if you don't get into the tunnel near the top.
Yeah.
That happened to me. Not with the save states, because I didn't start save stating in the middle of levels until later, but
Until later.
yes.
Yeah.
And all of this, I think, is in the second act, so you still have to do a boss after that.
Okay. This boss.
It's a seal with a mustache.
Yeah.
I saw the boss, and I'm like, oh, it's a cute little seal. It's funny. Oh, it messed up its little trick. That's hilarious. I get the boss. You're supposed to wait around until it messes up its tricks. That's not how the boss works. I did not realize this.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Until I looked it up later. But I thought it was a funny little boss. You bounce around, it bounces balls at you, and then, it bounces you like a ball too, and it's cute, it's great. It's not ending. Why isn't it ending? How do I damage it? Why am I here just to suffer? And I'm like, okay, how do you do this, boss? So, you hit the ball when it's on its head, That's not what the scene at the beginning tells you. Maybe I'm an idiot again. It's probably just me being an idiot, but it made no sense to me.
I don't really remember the specifics of figuring out the boss, because my strategy was always just, I'm gonna jump and see what happens, and I think I basically just hit him while he was blowing up the ball by accident, and so it became kind of a joke for me. But I understand
okay.
how you, if you are a more passive, more cautious player, especially as someone who's not save stating in the middle of stages like you said, and therefore not coming at it with a devil-may-care attitude, so to speak, would maybe try to be cautious and therefore then not know what they're doing.
Okay, that's interesting, yeah. But yeah, I didn't like the boss. It was cute, but it made no sense to me.
I don't think I have anything else to say about it.
I don't think there's a whole lot much to say.
Enough said. Goodbye, Aqua Lake. I will never see you again.
Hello, Green Hills Zone.
Green Hills? Not Green Hill?
Yep, Green Hills with an S.
Green Hills Zone.
Is this a knockoff? This must be a knockoff, right?
Yeah, this is the Chinese bootleg version.
It's the only explanation.
And it's also level 4 instead of level 1, which I don't think any Sonic game has ever done before. The music of this level is You Can Do Anything, the main theme to Sonic CD, which is weird. Especially since this game, I think, came out before that one. Because I think this came out before Sonic 2 on the Genesis, if you can believe it.
Yeah, it did. But to be fair, Sonic CD kind of had some major development hell issues.
So I suppose the song was probably complete before then, which is
right.
why they used it.
But we'll get Sonic CD, next week.
Yeah. I don't have a huge problem with this level design.
Yeah.
I think, Bruce, you had problems with the springs sending you into spikes a lot of times.
Yeah, I think that was my only major problem.
Oh boy, those springs.
The springs were pretty, they were pretty radical.
So this is when I started to get really ticked off by the pre-boss sections of Act 3. And this is when I was like, no, I'm not doing this every single time before the boss. It's just super precise. If you're not, on the farthest right side of the rightmost pixel of the rightmost spring, you're falling in a pit and you're dying.
Probably, yeah. And all of that is to say nothing of the boss itself, which is this weird sumo. Is he a pig? Is he a bear?
I think he's a pig, and oh boy, did I not like this boss.
Yeah, he like rolls back and forth, and you gotta hit him when he uncurls, but the window is not big.
It is very precise. Yeah, at this point in the game, I forgot if Eggman was even in this game. It was like, we're just fighting random robots.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like the theme of most of these bosses is do this repetitive but precise thing consistently, and then you win.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say. I do think that there's a neat little... It's both neat and very mean, which is that this guy, he rolls back and forth across the sloped terrain, but then after a certain hit count, he just hovers past, which you're definitely going to get hit by.
Oh yeah, that was annoying.
I would think it was funny if it did that, in a game that was fair or fun, but...
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then it would be like the drill thing that launches its drill on the final hit, but it's nothing like that.
Yeah. Gimmick Mountain. This is a
what
really
kind of
weird
name is that?
I don't think I have a whole lot to say about this level, but I have a lot to say about this boss.
We're not there yet.
Not there yet. We're not there yet, but oh boy.
Gimmick Mountain is weird because there's not much in the way of gimmicks. Like, I mean, I think there's minecarts, but those are on the first level.
Yeah. This is the one with the spinning things that are like in Scrap Brain, I think, right?
Oh, I thought that was Scrambled Egg Zone, but maybe
or is that Scrambled Egg? I could be completely mixing those up.
They're kind of...
that is this one, because Scrambled Egg is the pipes.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
My memory is not failing yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, I suppose there's those things, but those are in a lot of Sonic games, now that I think about it. They're in Scrap Brain, they're also in Metallic Madness in Sonic CD. I think they're in Sonic 3 somewhere. Gimmick Mountain is an interesting thing to me because it unlocks a primal memory in my mind of myself in 2007 when I'm 8 years old, first discovering the world of YouTube. It's probably later than 2007 now that I'm saying it out loud. But Gimmick Mountain, I remember being the name of a level in one of the areas in Super Mario's Wacky Worlds, which is not the cancelled Mario World sequel for the Philips CDI, but is in fact a Super Mario World ROM hack made by SASMW.net user Giga, and famously played by Proton John, my favorite childhood YouTuber. Which I only explain because the name of the level gave me this flashback.
I'd completely forgotten about that.
It's not like I go back to really old Let's Plays that often, so it's like...
Neither do I.
I think that is the same area with Death Water. I like that bit.
What? Death Water.
Anyway, let's get into the boss of this stage, the Boar Spike Tank. So, I'm going to try and set the stage here, because it's important.
Alright.
So this boss looks like your only recourse is to wait for it to hit the wall, and then it bounces off the wall, and it causes rocks to fall, and you can hit it for, again, a very brief period in there. The problem with this is that, again, the hit window is very slight, and the moment that you can hit it, its spikes on its back will retract, but they will retract only slightly, and you can jump on it but not damage it, and like bounce off of it in that time, which makes it has a deceptively longer period where it will not hurt you if you jump on it than it looks like. But the rocks are also a problem because they're randomized, so you are forced into a very constrained choreography with fighting this boss, if not for the fact that if you jump or roll into its nose, it will be knocked back just as if it had hit the wall, and sometimes the rocks won't even fall.
Yeah, it's that good shit.
It was this strategy that made it so that Bruce was able to win, which I watched him heroically not save stating in the middle of the fight for this, and it was this strategy that he dubbed Hog Tech.
Yeah, Hog Tech!
Very nice. Very very harrowing. A great tale for generations.
It was a heroic tale, and it has become a really weird inside joke for us to just employ at random times on Discord.
I feel like we need a Hog Tech emote on our server.
Well, I don't know what that... You know what? You do that. I don't care.
I'll figure it out. Anyway, I think this boss ended up taking me... I feel like this is an exaggeration, but maybe not. Like, probably close to 30 minutes.
It took you about as long as the entire rest of the game did, so yes.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking rad.
Well, I channel all my pain of other frustrations into your pain of this boss because
I accept it.
I cannot relate actually to the pain of the boss at all.
Oh.
When I said I didn't like the boss, it actually wasn't the boss. It was the precursor to the boss that kept screwing with me because there's a stupid platform that you have to escort across the entire level. And there's this one part where it's like, it's going to send you up into death, but you actually just have to wait for it or something. I don't really remember. It's kind of a blur, man. But like, if you run and you're like, yeah, it'll catch up. And then you run back, you're like, no, the platform despawned. Now I'm just screwed. And it just takes forever. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing this every time I have to go fight the boss. That was the bit that really got me. The boss? I fought it. I jumped on it. It didn't drop the boulders almost every time. I just hit it perfectly. Are you sure there's a bit where right after it hits that you can't hit it and you bounce off it? That literally never happened to me. I always jumped on it and it took damage. Sometimes the boulders dropped, sometimes they didn't. But I was always able to damage it. I beat this thing in like, maybe 4.
Interesting.
Wow. Wildly different experiences. I'm trying to remember my own experience, but it's been overwritten with, like, getting, like, progressively, more and more tired as the night progresses, and, like, watching Bruce attempt this thing, and, having my hoarse voice going, like, yeah, when he finally did. Both because I get a hoarse voice late at night, and because I was desperately trying to not wake up my family with how much I wanted to yell.
Right. I almost popped off so hard that I don't know. I'm just happy.
You should never have a random, like an RNG mechanic in a game where your character dies in one hit.
Especially when they don't give you any fucking rings.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yes. Oh boy.
And as Lauren said, I don't want to leave that one hanging. Levels where you have to escort platforms are like, they're sometimes worse than auto-scrollers for me in every game.
Yeah.
There's a Mario Galaxy level that has that. There's a Sonic Advance 3 level that has that. I hate it. It sucks.
I definitely agree.
Yeah, definitely. It's the worst. Okay, but moving... enough of Gimmick Mountain. Scrambled Egg Zone. That's quite a name, isn't it? I actually love it. I think that's hilarious.
The name is great. Funny.
It's a really weird level. The music slaps. I like the music.
The music's really good, and I like it aesthetically, but the pipes just, oh boy.
There are so many tubes. This is tube zone to the max.
Yeah, I again, this was another one where I'm pretty sure I spent like a solid, God, I don't know, like probably at least 20 minutes trying to figure them out with save states.
Yeah, okay, so when the pre-bosses portions of the third act got super long, I was like, no, I'm save stating right before the boss. But this was when it was like, no, I'm save stating in the middle level whenever I feel like. This is just wasting my time. And so they're like, nah, spit back, go redo everything. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not taking your wasting of my time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's a good thing that it doesn't kill you most of the time.
Yeah,
it's just annoying.
Yeah.
You have to very carefully and precisely press directions on the D-pad to make sure you're going the right direction in the tubes, and a lot of it is just trial and error.
Yeah,
and I got into the habit of save stating in the tubes.
Yeah,
it's very annoying to do on a keyboard when you don't have a pause button, but
yeah, it's. I feel like Sonic uses tubes a lot. Maybe he doesn't.
Never like this.
No, not like this. Everything I've seen is not like these damn tubes. I cannot get over these frickin' tubes.
Also, I swear Do the enemies in this game respawn if you move off screen?
I'm
think
pretty sure they
might.
do.
That sounds like something that I remembered remarking on.
Like, I can't tell for sure because I'm too busy raging at the pipes, but I'm like, I think I defeated this enemy already. I'm not really sure.
I'm pretty sure they do, because there were multiple points where I would kill an enemy, go through a tube, and be put back in the exact same spot. And guess what? The enemy's back, and it fucking slapped me.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's true.
Yeah.
Also, this zone brings back the stupid bombs from Starlight. I didn't want those.
What I like lovingly referred to as the panic attack enemies.
That is an amazing name because that's exactly what I get every time I see one.
Yeah, I mentioned it reminds me of malfunctioning Eddie from Futurama, who would just explode when somebody told him even something mildly surprising.
Pleased to meet you.
Actually, we've met once before.
It is a tubular level, but not in a good way.
It is tubular in the worst way possible.
No, yeah.
Well, at the very least, it's the last one. Well,
Yeah.
last one for us.
Yeah.
Okay. So the boss then, I suppose. This was another thing that I had seen from Mania, and honestly, yeah, it didn't seem that bad to me.
Yeah, it is our second Robot Sonic. This one actually is called Silver Sonic. This is the only robot in the Sonic games that has ever been called Silver Sonic, but everybody calls the Mecha Sonic from Sonic 2 Silver Sonic, even including the Archie comics. And I'm talking modern Archie, not, the old stuff. So that's very funny. He's a little smug prick. He's got a little smirk on his face, and he's got no arms.
Flies around with his arms on his hips.
Yeah, he's got rocket boosters, but it does look like he's got his hands on his hips, and he's like sassing you.
And then he's got a chest hand.
A chanced, if you will.
I don't think I will.
And he's not that hard. He bounces around in ball form, but you can knock him about in that form. He doesn't hurt you, so.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't very hard. I think I did have some trouble. I think it was just because of the bouncing around kind of throwing me off.
Well, and you were burnt out by that point.
Yeah, if I'd beat him up while I was actually conscious.
That helps.
Yeah.
But for me and Bruce, at least, that was the final boss. And if you don't get all the Chaos Emeralds, Sonic runs off in the ending, looks up into the sky, and sees the spirit of Tails, who is dead.
That was such a shocking ending. I was like, what? Like, usually, the worse ending, if you could even call it that, most of the time I wouldn't even call it a bad end. It's just like, oh, well, you could have done more, I guess.
It's usually just insubstantial, or it's just a version of the regular ending, and then it also adds a, did you get all those Chaos Emeralds at the end?
Right, yeah, but this is, terrible. What the heck?
Yeah.
Tails dies.
And this is the first Sonic game of any of them to add an entire extra boss for getting all the emeralds.
Yeah, so neither you two played Crystal Egg? I did not get the Chaos Emeralds. I level selected to it, but you didn't play it?
I did as well. It's more tubes.
I didn't.
Okay, cool.
I'm glad I didn't play it.
It's more tubes.
I guess I were. They didn't make me rage. Were they confusing? Maybe I got lucky.
They're kind of strewn about the boss room. They're your way of not getting hit. So.
Oh, the boss. Oh, I was thinking of the Crystal Egg Zone stages first.
Oh, sorry. I actually didn't play those. I skipped
right
to the boss.
Didn't? Okay.
I skipped right to the boss. I didn't think there was anything else. I wasn't paying attention.
Seriously? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know there was levels. As you know, I am a scholar of all things Sonic. That's why I started this podcast, to flex my knowledge on people.
All right.
So yes, my heart goes out to all people who mastered this game legitimately. You are legends. If you managed to collect all 7? I think it's 6, and then it just gives you the 7th one. Or is it
that's
5 and then it gives you the 6th one? Yeah. Kind of weird. Then you get a whole bonus zone, Crystal Egg Zone, which, that's an interesting name. Maybe I just like crystals. But I'm like, wow, this is actually a sort of a neat little zone. Act 1 is pretty darn fun, actually. I was like, whoa, this is pretty good. You
Now I
got
feel
your
stupid.
shiny crystals, and you're like breaking apart little like crystal chunks, and there's flying fish, man.
Damn.
It's trippy, and that's great. Act 2 is not as fun, unfortunately. Act 2 is kind of just annoying and frustrating, and it's back to its old tricks. It's still pretty though. I like a crystal egg, but yeah, the boss though,
Tube.
not a good boss.
Tube.
Tubes.
Oops.
It's like I feel like I could probably, if I had the patience, I could probably beat the boss if I had infinite lives without staying in the middle. I just didn't feel like it because it doesn't seem that hard. It seems more like a waiting game. You just wait until there's the perfect opportunity. It's just weird though. Like what? What's the point?
Yeah. Especially, it's weird for it being the only time in the game where you fight Eggman.
Oh my gosh, you're right. It is.
Oh, yeah.
I hadn't even considered that.
And it's one of like 2 times you see him in the game, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Three,
okay. So he
yes.
shows up at the beginning, but you don't fight him. I forgot that. You're right. Yeah, because of my theory that you were helping him take out a pest.
Yeah,
That's right.
Tremors.
Yeah, this boss is really like a game of chicken. He's like, you're gonna come out, Sonic? Are you gonna get electrocuted to death, or are you gonna hit me in the head? It's just weird though. It's not fun. It's not really well designed. It's just kind of a weird boss.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when you finally save Tails,
Make really weird faces.
yes. Okay. Yeah. That I was about to say that. Not just me. I'm like,
Sprite,
what's
yeah,
that look?
weird looking.
He's like, I don't know. I just saved you, man. This wasn't on purpose or anything.
Maybe this is, continuing with the Sonic Bible. Maybe this is Sonic the comic Sonic, and he's just like being bashful because he's kind of a jerk in those comics. He's like, "Oh, I saved you. You shouldn't have gotten captured, you idiot."
That actually fits surprisingly well. Yeah, I can see that. This is canon now.
People get mad at me when I characterize British comic Sonic as just an asshole, and it's like, yes, there's more to it, but also like he's just verbally mean to people.
Well, okay, I don't know Sonic the comic. I
It's
will
fine,
someday, but I think he's like an anti-hero. He's just like a jerk most of the time, but he has his moments.
Yeah. Anyway, the credits music in this game is pretty chill.
I don't remember the credits music.
Neither
Oh, yeah,
do
I
I.
literally fast forwarded through the credits. That's right.
Ah, okay. Oh, then you must have been like feeling like ready to be just done with this game at that point.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for fording the final level, which I didn't know existed. So
That is funny. That is funny.
I can't believe I thought it was just a boss. Because I used the level select to get there, and I should have seen it on the level select screen. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, anyway.
In any case, that is Sonic 2, and final thesis, the Sonic 1 and 2 8-bit games feel like fake video games. They
I
feel
agree
like something
Yeah.
you would see someone play on a TV show, but that is not a real game. They're,
Yeah.
I suppose so.
they're very almost a lot of things. They feel like if they had just been given a little more time in the oven and time to say, wow, this feels terrible to play, why did we do this? They would be able to be like, maybe not great, but just cute little equivalents, you know?
They'd be 8-bit demakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first played Sonic 1 8-bit, I was like, oh, okay, it's Green Hill Zone, but it's like a little bit different. Okay, that's kind of neat. That's cool. But then after that, when it suddenly was Bridge Zone, I was like, what if they had just continued that through the whole game and not also been like gotten really terrible?
Well, and there is something like that, because as with Sonic 1 8-bit, Sonic 2 has Sonic 2 SMS Remake, which, like with the first game, it's not actually a remake, it's mostly just a completely rebuilt fan game. But like with the first game, it's a lot better, so you should play that instead. And I will once again link it. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's about it. I think we're done.
Yep,
Pretty
I'm
much, yeah.
certainly done with that.
Well, and next week we will have our first episode that contains 0 bad video games. We will be talking
Hell
about
yeah.
Sonic CD. It's gonna be a great time.
Yeah, that's gonna be a
That'll
lot
be
more
good.
fun.
And with all that said, to our wonderful viewers, thank you for watching, and have a great night.